The game is finally up for the Grease piglet, as Britain is left with practically no government after the resignation of 40 plus ministers. Whilst the heavy hitters of Javid and Sunak quit on Tuesday, Boris Johnson looked a lame duck in the House of Commons, lacking any support from his backbenchers. A man who clearly only cares for his own self-interest, his own survival, whilst his crony ministers who only care about their own political survival and interests, probably to gain connections to be able to get a retirement fund from corrupt oligarch donors and lobbyists, to further them and their talentless children's careers. A leech upon the British people, seeping the rewards of those of the hard-working men and women of this country, working long hours just to provide for their family in the economy of 0 hours contracts, ridiculous house prices and soaring energy costs. This corrupt coalition, however, has self-combusted. The recent by-election defeats by the Tories has made them fear electoral defeat and the end of their profiteering until they inevitably are allowed back into power thanks to the broken system from which we live. This has seen the knives out for the Johnson government. Elements of the media, Dominic Cummings and the establishment elite out to get what they see as an unpredictable, unprofessional and incompetent leader. Johnson's government is now inevitably come to an end. You cannot run a government solely with Nadine Dorries. Gove has been sacked and Priti Patel, a woman who has advised Boris to resign. But now that Boris has finally resigned after immense pressure, not as Prime Minister but as Tory leader, who shall replace him? All the Tories candidates seem to be just as bad, if not worse. Rishi, Javid, Liz Truss, the woman who advised our boys to die in Ukraine for the sake of a virtue signal to boast her own career.
The people of Ukraine are fighting for freedom and democracy, not just for Ukraine, but for the whole of Europe, because that is what President Putin is challenging. And absolutely, if people want to support that struggle, I would support them in doing that. So you support? Absolutely, if that's what they...
This deplorable bunch will do little better than Boris. What we need is a general election. While Starmer and the centrist shadow government of Tony Blair might be corrupt as well, at least we can expect a degree of competence and good governance. Let us be gone with these crooks. In the words of Oliver Cromwell, you have sat here long enough for any good you have been doing. In the name of God, go. But you don't need to feel bad for Boris. He should surely live the high life, living in luxury of Saudi oil money, much like former Prime Minister David Cameron. He won't get what he deserves under this system. Neither do most of our corrupt elite.
You look me in the eye and you tell me which one of you two let that filthy nonce back on our streets.